I've been using this lens for years now, so I thought let's make a review about it. Nox, kan je er afgaan? Nox! Kss. Eraf! Ik ben aan het opnemen! Dankjewel. Keep in mind that I'm shooting on film, so take that how you want it. Welcome to a new episode of Let's Talk It Over. Okay, so because I'm shooting on two bodies, I need two lenses. And I want them to be identical, so the work is consistent. The Voigtlander Ultron 35 has two versions, the version 1 and the version 2, and I got both. The glass is identical, so the results are too, but there are some minor differences in the build. On my black M6 I got the version 1, which I've been using for years. When I first used it, it felt amazing, definitely because of its small form factor. It also felt pretty heavy for a small lens, so that also added up to the quality feel of the lens. But what I needed to get used to was the 0.5 focus distance on the lens, which is also on the V2 by the way. Because of course the M6 can only focus to 0.7, there is no hard stop at that point. It's nice to be able to focus a little bit closer, but at that point it's just guesswork because you can see the rangefinder align in the viewfinder. So keep that in mind because it can be very frustrating for people who are not used to it. It doesn't bother me at all though. What I also felt in the beginning of using this lens was there was a point that felt a little bit tight, mostly around the further distances. I thought this was just because it was new, and after a couple of months of usage it just disappeared. Funny thing is that I had the same thing with the V2, but that disappeared in just a couple of days of use. So yeah, on my silver M6 I got the V2, which really is the same lens. As I mentioned before, it has exactly the same glass. But as you can see, the build is a bit different. And I think that I like the newer one. Looks more streamlined, but also the focus tab is just way better. I never had a problem using the focus knob on the V1, but after using the tab on the V2, I think I prefer that one. The V2 also feels like a very good quality product, just like the V1. So no changes there. So that's all I can really say about the build. Let's get into the quality and the look and feel of the images that this one can create. This lens opens up to f2, which is fast enough for almost any situation that I shoot in. Most of the time I just stop it down a lot so I get a nice depth of field, like in street photography, but also in other fast-paced shooting. But it's definitely nice that I can open it all the way, so I can also shoot in low light situations. The only moments where I can see me using a wider aperture is during concerts. But then again, I never had any problems with the f2, so scrap that. When stopping it down, it's really sharp from edge to edge, so great quality on that side. Paired with a nice film stock like Portra 400 or 800, it really gives a lot of nice detail. When you open it all the way up to f2, you'll notice some vignetting for sure. But personally, I like that look. It's not as much as, let's say, the knocked-on version of the 35. And that's because the Ultron has the spherical design, but it's still there when you shoot it wide open. And when you open it up all the way, you also get that great bokeh that it produces. There's just something that makes it less clinical or perfect. It feels more organic. But that's just my opinion, of course. If you are all about that clean look, this might not be the lens that you're looking for. And if you're new to this channel, which you should definitely subscribe to, I shoot a lot of different things. From landscapes to street photography and events to portraits. And I do all of that with this lens. So I really think that it's capable of doing all of those things. And that's also what I really like about the 35mm focal length. Even though for a lot of moments I might want to try out an even wider lens. But I'm not yet really sure about that. Let me know in the comments down below if you would like me to test out some 28 lenses in the future, or if you already think that it would be a better fit for my work. And that's all I can really say about it. It's just an amazing lens. And definitely at this price point. I know this was maybe not the most technical spec'd review, but that's not me. I just want to tell you guys how I feel about it and show you what I think is possible with this lens. I got links in the description for the lens and all the other gear that I use on a daily basis. So if you're interested, go check that out. And if you want to see more results, go check out my website. 99% what you see on there is shot with the Ultron. Only some medium format shots are of course not taken with the M6. But I would also recommend you to check out some episodes on my channel, because there you can see me using this lens in the field. And I've got 3 different series on here. One with a POV view called Run Along, where I take you with me on some street photography, family trips and a lot more. The other one called Frames, where I talk a little bit more in depth about the way I shoot, but also a different way of filming where I'm mostly in front of the camera. And then we have my series, of course, which you are watching right now, called Let's Talk It Over. Here we go in about gear, inspiration and subjects that are relative to photography or film photography. So would I recommend this lens? If you love shooting with the 35mm focal length and you like the look and feel that this lens has, definitely. I have been recommending this lens for the last 2 years, to be honest. And with that being said, if you have any more recommendations or you have some experiences with the Ultron yourself, let them be known in the comments down below. But for now, thanks for watching and I'll see you next week. Peace.